Hi, my name is Thomas Gibbs with U.S. Franchise Visa, and in this video we'll discuss the franchise opportunity Regal Maid service with Kimberly Bonner, Director of Franchisee Recruitment. She's a franchise developer by trade and has been in franchising since 2010. She's passionate about meeting people, traveling, good food, and salsa dancing. Kimberly, thank you for being on the call today.
Thank you for having me, Thomas.
Absolutely. Give us the overall concept with Regal Maid service. What's the who, what, when, where of the brand?
Regal Maid Service is a company that was founded by E-2 visa recipients in the 90s. It is a franchise system that focuses on a British approach to cleaning, and the niche is high-end residential cleaning services. And so that is the niche. It's very, very unusual for two reasons. I call it a purple cow, and that's a term that Seth Godin, Godin, developed to talk about brands that are remarkable. And Regal really is a remarkable brand for two reasons, particularly for your audience. Number one, it was founded by E-2 visa recipients and currently is owned by E-2 visa recipients, the entire franchise system. That makes a huge difference in the culture. It makes a huge difference in the support. So number one. Number two, it's focused on high-end residences. So you're not going to be focused on the mushy middle, which is kind of vanishing in America, but you're focusing on the wealthy homeowners who have the cash flow, who will consistently pay for your services. So it's a very, very wonderful company in the sense that it's highly unique and has this E-2 visa history with the founders and the current owners. It's a British approach to cleaning that is targeting wealthy homeowners. So that's really kind of the standout about this particular franchise.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. If you've watched any of our other videos, you have probably found that there aren't any other E-2 visa owners that own the franchise. So I think it is important that if you're looking at a franchise with an E-2 visa, that you are at least aware of the ownership group and their experience, and in particular their experience in working with visas. So yeah, that is significant. For the brand, what would you say is the mission and the vision?
Well, for the brand, their main mission is really to treat their customers like royalty. That is the articulated mission of the brand. And they really want to expand. Part of the vision of the company is really to expand this franchise system to give opportunity to people very much like the franchise founders and the current owners who are coming to the United States to pursue the American dream, and also people who are native-born Americans who just want to be part of a great franchise brand. But the whole focus is really to treat customers like their royalty, to give people a regal treatment, and also expand the opportunity, right, to as many qualified franchisees as possible to take the brand to the next level.
Awesome. Okay, that's great. So, if we're looking at franchises and we decided, we'd like to become a franchisee with Regal Maid Service, and we get awarded the franchise. Talk to us a little bit about the training initially, and then what does the future support look like?
The training initially includes 4 weeks online, so you can start where you are. You can start if you're in another country, quite frankly. That's the beauty of it. And that's one of the reasons why they created it. And it's 4 weeks. You can start while you are employed. And then after that, when you get your location and right before your launch, the franchise system owners are going to fly to your location and actually help you get everything in place. They'll even help you with sitting in on your interviews, going out on go-sees, making sure the entire office is set up, making sure your cars are set up properly, making sure you have the proper cleaning equipment. They are going to you as opposed to you coming to them. And that's very different. With most franchise systems, the model is, even if there is an online component, you're going to fly out to headquarters. What the owners of this franchise system really want to do is they want to model, we treat our customers like royalty. They want to model that. And so they want to bring that royal treatment to their franchisees as they're onboarding them and really get them to understand how serious that is as far as excellent customer service and attention to detail. And so that's why they're going to the franchisee location, and they're going to be very franchisee centric before, during, and after launch. Okay, so after the launch, after the franchise leaders come back to headquarters, there are going to be regular phone calls. They're going to be consistent check-ins. If there is a needed second location visit, the franchise owners will go there to support them. So there's going to be, like I said, the 4 weeks online, the initial launch, the ongoing support after that, not to mention the marketing, the advertising, the back-end administrative support. So there's going to be a lot of resources there to make sure that that franchisee succeeds, because Regal doesn't want a failed franchise unit. That doesn't make sense for them. It doesn't make sense for you. And they also know that particularly people who are coming over on an E-2 visa, they can't afford to fail. So the leaders of the company recognize this. They really, 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 really get it.
Awesome. How many franchisees are there, and how many of them are E-2 visa holders?
I would say probably around 50% are E-2 visa holders. There are about 33 or 34 in the franchise system to date. The franchise just grew very organically. They didn't really put any marketing behind the franchise system. It really grew by word of mouth. The founders were talked about in Great Britain. People realized, oh my gosh, this is a very successful company. How can we join it? And so they never, believe it or not, even though they started in the 90s, they never marketed. They never used a franchise broker network. They never used franchise consultants. This was all very organic. And it wasn't until 2015, under the new leadership, that they started rethinking that. And so I would say not until 2018 that they really do start doing outreach to recruit new franchisees. So that's kind of the history of the company and where we are today. We're looking forward to working with people like you, Thomas, because we understand that your network is terrific, and other franchise consultants and other franchise brokers have terrific networks that can help us really identify strong operators, right, that will add value to the company.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's, one team, one dream type of vision. Lots of folks out there want to improve their lives and come to America, but they don't know how. They don't know the tool that they're going to use to accomplish that. And that's what we do at U.S. Franchise Visa. We help folks that are treaty investors find opportunities that allow and qualify them for their E-2 visa. Regal Maid service is an option that you may want to consider. Speaking of that, what would it take to be considered qualified There's probably some financial requirements, some experience or background requirements. What all does that look like, Kimberly?
Well, you know, the all-in investment is anywhere from 105,000 to 125,000. So if you don't have access to those funds or cannot get access to those funds, it doesn't make sense for us to have a conversation. We don't want to waste your time. You don't want to waste our time. So there's a financial threshold. Most people who are looking at an E-2 visa, they understand that. So I don't think that's going to be a problem. The second issue is customer service. So there are some people who come from an engineering background, a mathematical background, an accounting background, and they're not really people oriented. They don't like talking to people. They're more task oriented. It takes all kinds, right? However, in this business, in the Regal Maid service business, you can't be that way. Like, you have to be very strong interpersonally. You have to have very strong customer service skills. If you're task focused, that's great. Maybe you want to have a front-facing manager of the operation that's really got great people skills, great customer service skills, and then you can do the back office administration. But you have to have someone in that position, someone who's doing the day-to-day, who's really strong with customer service skills, because and just really got strong people skills, because you've got two big parts of this business that if they're not running properly, it falls apart. Number one, you've got to be able to recruit and keep staff. Some people don't like to manage people. Some people have a hard time connecting with people. If you can't get staff, you don't have a business. You don't have a viable business, not at least in Regal Maid. It doesn't make sense. We don't want you cleaning these beautiful homes. So that's number one. That's the number one reason why people skills is just big. The other thing is, you're talking about very particular clients. That's how they were able to probably, acquire and amass the wealth that they have. So, you have to be a great listener. You have to be a great communicator. You have to be able to really focus on them, and they have to feel like this is a big deal, right? That they are being treated like royalty. So customer service is by far, people skills by far are the most important quality in a franchisee, outside of just having the financials to be able to start your business.
Okay, great. Would you maybe be able to tell us a story or two about a franchisee, maybe one that's new or that's been around for a while, that is an E-2 visa holder, and maybe talk a little bit about their success, maybe some of their challenges, just to kind of paint a picture for what it might look like for us?
Absolutely. There are, relatively speaking, recent franchisees. Michael Bush in Forsyth, Georgia. He and his wife basically came over on an E-2 visa, and they did not hardly know anyone in that area, but they specifically chose a location that had a high concentration of wealthy homeowners. And even though they didn't have a large network, they recognized that the business model for Regal was viable. And so they really went all in, and they are killing it, as they say. They're crushing it. They're winning all types of awards in Georgia. They are really making a name for themselves in the greater Atlanta area. And this is a couple that, again, came over on an E-2 visa, did not know hardly anyone, did not have an impressive network in that area. But the key was they got the right market, right? They picked a market that had a high concentration of wealthy homeowners. They're actually the only Regal Maid service in that area, and they are crushing it. And they're getting awards. they're getting accolades, they're getting recognized because they stick out like a purple cap. They're unique, right? They have this British approach to cleaning through Regal. They are focused on service market fit. They're in the right location, and they have the people skills to match. And they've done very, very well.
That's awesome. How long have they been franchisees for now?
Oh, I want to say at least 2016.
Okay. So they're at least a couple of years.
Right.
Do you know how many people they have on staff?
Not off the top of my head, but I can certainly give that information. That information is certainly in our franchise disclosure document. And so if someone was serious about moving forward in the process, that is something that we would love to share with your prospects.
Okay, great. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to tell us that story. There's all kinds of stories out there in franchising about people coming across the globe and working into a system that has been proven to work. And obviously Regal Maid Service having, well over a dozen E2 franchisees know how to get it done. Kimberly, we really appreciate you taking the time. How would we find out more about Regal Maid Service if we were interested?
You can go to the website, regalmaidservice.com, and they will literally have prompts there for franchise information. What I would want your participants on this webinar to do is literally in the comment section say that they participated in this webinar, they heard about Regal through you, or mention my name so that it can really get the headquarters attention. And we will respond very, very promptly and make sure that they get the information that they need.
Great, awesome. And if you have interest in general about franchising in America with an E2 visa, you can reach out to us at usfranchisevisa.com. Kimberly, thank you so much for being on the call today.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Bye-bye.